Alright, this is how you graph piecewise functions. Alright, so what you're looking at is first you have to determine what is the cutoff point. So how you do that is you always look at this. So you always will have the same number here. You'll have x is less than some number and x is greater than some number. That is our cutoff point. So what we're going to do is we're going to make two t-charts. X, Y. X, Y. So if you notice our two cutoff points, our cutoff point is 5. In the first t-chart, you're always going to put the 5 down here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you right here. So we're going to put the 5 down here. And the second one, you're going to put the 5 up here. So then you're going to write the first equation on top of the first one, the second equation on the second one. Okay, this is just going to help us later. So it's going to become 2x plus 3, absolute value of x minus 6. So in both of these, I'm going to write a couple numbers above, a couple numbers below. So it's going to be 4, 3. Since this 5 is down here, it had to be 4 and 3 because it has to be numbers smaller than 5. And this one, it has to be numbers bigger than 5. That's what this whole x is less than 5, x is greater than 5 is telling you, is that you have to pick numbers smaller than 5, you have to pick numbers bigger than 5. So we're going to do 6 and 7. And now let's plug these in. So, the first one's going to be 2 times 3 plus 3. Okay? 2 times 3 plus 3, which will end up giving you 9. Next one will be 2 times 4 plus 3. That'll give you 11. It'll be 2 times 5 plus 3 gives you 13. Now let's do the next one. So we're going to take the absolute value of 5 minus 6. Now 5 minus 6 gives us the absolute value of negative 1. An absolute value of any negative is always positive, so it just becomes a positive 1. Then let's do the 6. 6 minus 6 equals 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. 7 minus 6 equals 1. Alright, so now we have our two equations. Now we have to figure out which one of these dots is going to be an open dot. Only one dot's going to be open, and we got to figure out which one it is. So now this is why we go back up here. So if you have one of these, it's going to be an open dot. If you have one of these, it's going to be closed. Okay. So our only open dot is when x is on this first one at 5. So this is going to be the open dot. This is the only open dot we care about. So let's graph all these points. So the first one's going to be 3, 9. So I'm going to go to 3 and I'm going to go up to 9, put a little point. Next one is 4, 11. Now there really isn't an 11, so I'm just going to guesstimate and put it right there. And then 5, 13. So I'm going to go 5. So again, I don't have a 13. I'm going to guesstimate and say it's right there. Now the next one, and this one's going to be the open dot. Sorry. That one should be the open dot. Next one's going to be 5, 1. So I'm going to go 5, 1. Then it's going to go 6, 0. And then 7, 1. Alright. So what's special about piecewise functions is that little barrier, that little spot, that means that nothing can cross the 5 line. Meaning that this little invisible line right here or this line right here where the x is 5 at, nothing can cross it. So this, when coming first, cannot cross it, so it has to go in the other direction. This one cannot cross it, so this is absolute value, so it can't go in this direction, but it can go in this direction. Essentially all this is that the open and closed dot are like teleportation devices. Meaning if I start in this function, I go up to this open circle, it teleports me to this one over here. And then I continue. Or if I come this way, it teleports me back up to here. That's how a piecewise function should look. Now in the second one, same idea. First let's look at what number they have in common. This is the 1. Okay, so this is our barrier. That's where everything's going to be at. So I'm going to make my two x, y, t charts. X, y, x, y. Okay. So that means that I'm going to have the 1 right here, the 1 right here. I'm going to have two numbers below, two numbers above. I'm going to choose 2 and 4, and I'll show you why here in a sec. Just going to make it easier. Alright, first equation is x plus 2 squared minus 1. Second equation is 1/2 x plus 3. So now let's just plug this stuff in. So negative 1 plus 2 squared minus 1. Alright, when you do that, you get negative 1 plus 2, which is positive 1. And that squared, so this is going to give us positive 1. That squared is 1, minus 1 gives us 0. Now it's 0, so it's going to be 0 plus 2 squared minus 1. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared becomes 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. The last one's going to be 1 plus 2 squared minus 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. That squared is 9. 9 minus 1 gives us 8. On this one over here. So this is why I did this, because 1/2 times odd numbers is kind of hard to do. So 1/2 times 1 gives us 0.5. That plus 3 is going to give us 3.5. 1/2 times 2 gives us 1, plus 3 gives us 4. Then you have 1/2 times 4 plus 3. 1/2 times 4 gives us 2, plus 3 is 5. Okay. So now let's graph these. So once again, we got to figure out what is our open, what is our closed. Well, this one's going to be the open dot. So we're going to put an open dot by this little 1 right here. That's going to be our only open dot. So now let's graph this. So this is going to be 1, 8. So I'm going to go 1, 8. I'm going to go 0, 4. I'm going to go negative 1, 0. And so technically this should be a U shape. I'm not going to make you guys like worry about it too much. Just know that this is going to be a U shape. And this next one will be an open dot at 0 or 1, 3.5. So we're going to go 1 about halfway between and put an open dot. 2, 4. And then 4, 5. So once again, these things cannot pass each other. So this can't go any farther than this spot. This can't go any farther than this spot. So that's how that works. Thank you.